Hey, so what's your name?
My name is Nik Ramage.
And Nick, what do you make?
I make things like this. I make useless mechanical machines.
Nice. And how long have you been doing that?
The oldest thing here is 25 years old, so a while.
So a while. And is this a full-time profession for you?
As much as I can make it, yeah. I do a little bit of teaching and some commissions that veer off a little bit. All this stuff here is kind of, pure for its own sake.
And did you go to school for art?
I did graphic design and made as much as possible. And this was sort of, when I was out in the world, this was could do as I pleased. This is the sort of free-form thing that came about.
Yeah. And have you always been mechanically inclined?
Yeah. Zero training or anything, so no professional training, but probably a tinkerer, a natural-born tinkerer.
And did you teach yourself how to weld too?
I did, yes. Before the internet came along, I had to go and buy myself a complicated book and work it out from that. But yeah, I'm not the world's greatest welder, but it does the job.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of found objects. Where do you like to find work?
Stuff, it's car boot sales and junk shops. A slightly diminishing world of, because it's all sort of, from proper old machines that I'm interested in. So it gets, a little bit harder to find things. So a few new bits and pieces, but I try and keep that to a minimum. It's, the cranky old stuff that I'm really interested in.
And when you find things, do you know immediately kind of what you're going to do?
Some things, I store up stuff that I know is going to be useful. That looks good. Yeah. And then sometimes you get, it's like, that will be perfect for that thing, so a bit of each.
And do you use a lot of used motors, or do you try to keep the motors new?
Both, actually, yeah. I've got favourite new motors that I do use, but if I find old ones with a bit of character, that's kind of nice. Yeah. The new ones, they're wonderful and efficient, but a bit lacking in character sort of thing sometimes.
And you say they're useless machines. Why so?
Well, machines that we generally have around us are about performing a function, being useful. And, mine kind of skirt up to utility and then veer away, so they're nearly useful but not quite. It's like the ladder, that's a great, that would be really useful to have a ladder that folded up for the back of your bike or van or whatever.
Right.
But in the process I've made it completely useless and lethal.
That's great. And do you want to explain any of your pieces to me? Like, for example, the gramophone piece.
The gramophone, vinyl records are fantastic. I don't understand how sound fits in a little wobbly line. So I wanted to sort of explore that by making a homemade gramophone. And it's got the bass from a washing machine, a drill, plumbing. This I found, so someone obviously repaired their gramophone with it. And so I mean, it is the very definition of lo-fi. The sound quality is terrible, but it is made, the sound's coming through a sewing needle, through a jam lid, and through some plumbing. So what do you expect? So yeah, there we are.
Yeah. And do you feel like your graphic design has influenced your aesthetic in terms of what you make?
A little. I mean, I really liked, when I was doing that, I really liked ideas as a basis for things. So I definitely owe a certain way of thinking or to that time, that training.
Yeah.
So it definitely
I
has.
think compositionally, I see a lot of design.
Okay,
in
yeah,
what
yeah,
you do, and
yeah.
balance and form. And,
Right.
You wouldn't just put some things together just because they went together. There's an aesthetic aspect.
Yeah,
of it, too.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, a lot of these things, although they're based on an idea, they're not executed in a sort of conceptual way. You know, I want the thing to have character, so thus the old parts, and often I want it to be a bit like a drawing, so it's sort of made of squiggly lines rather than rectilinear lines.
And there's a very purposeful quality to your work that what you see is kind of what you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see how they work. So it's not a digital box that is basically runs on magic.
Yeah.
It's this simple mechanism, and it's all exposed, so you can see what's going on.
Any advice for young artists who would want to be start making stuff out of stuff?
Stuff out of stuff. I suppose start tinkering. Get on with drawing's brilliant, but you need to get your hands dirty and get on with it. And if you're making moving things, the golden rule is it won't work like you think it will. So build in time for failure, because that will happen, but that's all part of it.
Yeah. And if somebody wanted to find your work on the internet, where would they look?
They can look at nikramage.com. So Nik is N-I-K and then RAMAGE.com. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
And you.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers.